How many people have gone to powwows here? Yeah. You ever been to a small powwow? A really small one? Like I just went to a small. I was at a small powwow. I went there as a dancer. The powwow was so small that the MC said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Let's bring in the dancer." And I looked around and I was the only guy. I was it. There was just me dressed up with feathers. I had an eagle staff. There was no one even to offer me tobacco. I had to help myself. There was a dish there and a little note that said, "Get your own." My material comes from past stories. Sometimes it's just spur of the moment kind of things that just happen. Stuff that comes from like your life experiences. To me, those are the best ones.
For comedian Ron Kanutski, it's all about living a good life. And while there was once a time in his younger years where alcohol, drugs, and rock and roll were his addictions of choice, those have since been erased and replaced with comedy, humor, and a good laugh.
Well, what's really weird about the Native Friendship Center is this used to be a bar at one time, and I put many a man hours in here. I've done a lot of serious work hours here prior to coming here, so this is going to be a little different. I've walked in sober and I'm going to leave sober, so this is going to be different for me, for this building. Just turn around, face the bench, he says, put your hands on that little bed there and look at the cartoon characters, and this will be done in a second. So I just stood like this, and I bent over like that, and I was leaning there, and all of a sudden, all I heard was a croak. I heard a funny sound of a jar or something, and I got one shot, and I just went stiff, and he says, "It works better if you breathe," he says. "Take some deep breaths." So I'm sitting there going, "Hoo, hoo, hoo," and then all of a sudden the guy walks out, and I just stood up straight, and I was kind of like, what the heck just happened? The nurse walks in, and what's really awkward, she says to me, "Who was that guy?" To be honest with you, comedy was something I always enjoyed right from a kid. And I actually have a friend that's just sitting right beside us over here. He's the one who introduced me to comedy, and he got this beta tape. It was called Eddie Murphy Delirious. And I watched that, and I was like, I can do that. And well, of course, I can't be Eddie Murphy, but I was like, I think I can make people laugh.
Kanutski has made his comedic presence heard in northwestern Ontario. Although born and raised in Dryden, Ron's comedy is most well known in the city of Thunder Bay, where just last year he was crowned the winner of the city's Comedic Idols Champ of Champions event.
He says, "I'm old school, bro. I'm Wu-Tang Posse, bro." He says, "I'm hip-hop. I'm gangster rap, man. You know what I'm saying?" I said, "Listen here, sonny boy." I said, "I was dressed like that in the Res in 1983. It ain't hip-hop. It ain't Wu-Tang Clan. It ain't old school. It's called drunk." It was kind of frowned upon when I was a kid. It was kind of like, that'd be a nice hobby, but you got to think realistically about a career. So comedy got put on the shelf till I was probably almost 40 years old, where I started to look at it as a possibility again. There's a few things that I always say that's never too late, you can always do it, and then there's a few things that where I'm at right now in life I'm not going to do. Like I always wanted to climb Mount Everest, and I watched the movie on Everest, and I was like, nah, we're not going to do that anymore. He's like, I don't want to die, that's not fun.
To find out more about Ron's upcoming shows and tour, visit his website at ronkanutski.com.
It's like any job, you got to earn your stripes. You don't just step up and all of a sudden you're famous. And there's so many talented people. You got to kind of put your time in, and people got to get to know you. And you get your following, right? And I think it's starting to happen. What I did is, instead of going and practicing somewhere, I just kind of said, I'm either going to do this, I'm going to be good at it, or I'm not. So I just went out there and did my best. I dropped the pebble right from where I was at, and I just rippled out from there. So it's a pretty rare way of doing it. A lot of people have never do it that way. I'll say, you got to go to New York, or you got to go to Los Angeles, or Toronto, or Montreal. I did in Thunder Bay. This is my impersonation of Arnold Schwarzenegger emceeing one of our powwows.
For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Tommy Johnson.
I'm never going to be able to do that. Come on, you guys, get out there. It's time to start powwowing. What are you waiting for? It's already 2 o'clock. Get out there. We're going to do the duck and dive. Come on, get out there. I love doing this. It's so much fun.